Hello, everyone. This is Tim Bryce again with the National Weather Service in El Paso, Texas. All right, so this time we're going to be talking about Gemini in Google Docs. You all know that Gemini is a generative AI, which means it's very good at generating information, generating text, and so it seems ready made for docs or documents or writing documents, and it is. So, and what Google has done a good job of integrating it into uh, all of our Google-based products, or Gmail, Docs, Sheets, Slides, anything like that. Now, a lot of times we're used to working with Gemini in the main web interface, which is this one, and you can actually reference your Google Docs. So if you have give me a summary of Google. Whoops, let me do the at symbol, and then you have access. So you can say add, and then give the name of the file if you know it, and then you can type, and it'll run off to Docs, and it will get that summary and pull it in. So you can reference it that way. But today, what I'm going to talk about, actually, we're going to be in Google Docs. So here I am in my Google Drive. If you click on, let's create a new Google Doc, and it's just going to pull up a blank doc. But you'll notice a little things different now at the beginning of the doc now that Google has embedded Gemini into your doc. Right at the top, you have something called Generate a Document and Help Me Write. Both of these are Gemini related. They're very similar in function. Actually, I find it a little confusing, but what they do is generate a document is if you need a whole document created. Help Me Write is for if you need to kind of work on a section within your document. You can also see the Help Me Write icon is over here on the right hand side. So those two, they're very similar in functions, but they do have slightly different functions. If you need to create the whole document, generate document, if you need to kind of refine your writing within that document, you can use that Help Me Write. Now, you can also pull in Gemini in the right hand side. If you click on in the upper right hand corner on the Gemini icon, it loads a panel here, and you can enter your Gemini prompt in this panel down here, which my pictures is covering up down there. But basically, you can in the lower right hand corner, I know it's hard to see with my picture in the way there, but that's where you would enter that prompt. Now you can see that you've got some of your gems listed here. You can access all of your gems. So if you needed a gem, and let's say I needed to write a document about, I have a reference gem here. If I needed to write a document, excuse me, about the use of sick leave, and in my reference gem I have our SDM that talks about the different sick leave. I could do that. It would run off to my reference gem. It would then grab the sick leave information, and then I could drop it into a document. Unfortunately, at the time of this recording, the connection between the gems is not working. I don't know why. It's been working in the past, but know that you can see they very prominently put it in here. You should be able to reference your gems. I don't know why they're not being connected right now. So you should be able to reference your gem. So if you can set up a gem for a repetitive task that you maybe use in Docs, you can access it here. All right. So let's talk about creating a document. So if I want to generate a document, I can click on that. And let's say I want to generate a document that talks about rip currents. So I have created a document that talks about rip current, what a rip current is, where they occur, signs of a rip current is occurring, and why they're dangerous to swimmers, and how to survive being caught in a rip current. And then I just click on create. And so it's going to run off, begin to do its thinking, and just like that, I have a nice document talking about rip currents. Now, I can highlight a particular section of it, And you'll see now this little window has popped up, and this can be a refine, and that's called refine. And I can add a new prompt. I can have it rephrase this section. So if I click on this, it's going to rephrase it. So it's got to highlight it. If I like what it's done here, I will click on that. And for some reason, it did not pull it out, the old one out. So we'll put that in there like this. So now I've got a rephrased document here, or not document, but a section here. And so you can see now I can highlight it again, and it will give me refine. This time I can make it rephrase. I can make it more formal. I can elaborate. So this time elaborate, all elaborate's going to do is make it a little longer. So it's going to gather some more information, and actually it made it a lot longer. So I am not going to actually insert that, but you can see how by doing that I can make it more casual, make it bulletized, summarize. Let me click on that and see what that does for us. And now it's back to more of a summary kind of thing. And if I click on insert, now it's stuck that summary in there. So you can see how you can adjust within your document. You can create a document. You can adjust the text within your document. So those are two great ways to kind of get you going on your road with Gemini. So let's create a new document again. So let me create a new doc, and I'm going to grab my prompt that I already have ready to go. So I'm waiting for it to load all the way. So now this time I want to create a document about flash flooding. So now I gave it that long prompt. Basically, the prompt said create a document that talks about what flash flooding is, what causes them, why they're dangerous, some safety tips about flash flooding, and then I also said include a section on burn scars. So now it's done that. You can see what it's about, maybe 2 pages long. And what I can do then is, if I wanted to, I could highlight the whole thing here. And I lost it. Actually, you see here at the bottom, it gave some files, but it's not connected to anything. So I would want to come in here and immediately just kind of delete those off. And again, that's it. It generates the document, but then you can go in there and edit it. So let me see if I can highlight this whole document, if it will let me. So now we've got this whole document highlighted, and I can click on refine again, and I can actually elaborate. So it's going to make the document longer. I could make it shorter. I could enter a prompt and adjust the document. So now it's got this much longer document. If I click on insert, now what was a 2-page document is now a 5-page document. So that's great. I've made it longer. You would want to kind of go through and make sure, kind of scan it to make sure that it was saying the correct information. But again, kind of jump-starting your process. You could have it help you brainstorm. So if you open this panel on the right-hand side again, it will give you some kind of example prompts. It can give you one of the ones that I like is that what can Gemini do in Google Docs. You can click on that. It'll give you a list of things that you can do. You can refine. It gives you the prompt to refine this document, so it would go through. Also notice that it did give you a summary of this document. I'll talk about that more here in a minute. But what I want to do now is I'm going to grab another prompt here. I need a picture. And instead of me going off and scouring the web for a picture, and I know it's kind of hard for you guys to see this because of my picture down here in the lower right hand corner. But what I've got here is I've got a prompt here. I need an image of a flash flood going across a low water crossing, have the water flowing across the road, have a mountain off in the distance, and have a thunderstorm also off in the distance, and set the scene in the desert southwest. So now the prompt, I gave it that prompt, it's running off, and it's going to create some images for me to be able to insert into my document. And what I'm doing right now is kind of making some room for this image. So if I click on this, so it's giving me 4 images, and that's actually a pretty good one. You can see thunderstorm off in the distance. I've got this one. So it gives you 4 kind of options. I kind of like that one. So you can see we've got all these different options to choose from. Of course, you'd want to look at one, make sure that it looks correct. I like the one with the lightning here, so I can insert that. And there it is, inserted at the top of my page here. So again, another great way to use Gemini to help you move your document along. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to show you, actually a couple other things. If you click on a document here, and this is a document about supercells, when you open up the document, if you have this right-hand panel open, it will give you a summary right away. It's still kind of loading, taking its time loading. And there at the right-hand panel, and it's got this summary right here at the top. If I make it bigger here, view more, you can see it's giving me a summary of this whole document. Or if it wasn't there, you can again click on. You can click at the prompt down at the bottom and say summarize. So if somebody sent you a long document, you can say summarize this document. And again, I apologize because my image is in the way down there. But what it does, I just said summarize this document, and it did the same thing again. I got this nice summary of all the information in this document, and then it has some more kind of prompts that it's thinking maybe I would like. I can reference other documents. Hey, summarize at AI, and so I have a presentation on AI and LLMs. So what I'm doing now is I'm referencing another doc, and there you can kind of see it right above. It says summarize this this presentation I had put together on AI and large language models. So here it is, and then I could click on insert, and it would stick it into this document. So I've got a document, I've got to create it, but then I can reference another document, have it summarize that document, and I can include that in the current document as well. So another great use of AI or Gemini as far as you creating these documents. Oh, one other thing I did want to tell you, it's not such a great one for a static document like this, but I can, at the very top, if you create a space here and you create an @ symbol, and then I type AI, but the only thing that this works with is a summary. So you click on that summary, and my guess is in the future they'll be adding other things like this, but it will give you a summary of the document, and I can click yes, put it in there, and now at the top of the document I have a nice summary of this whole document. Not really so useful for a static document, but if you've got like your meeting notes, you can click on that summary, add that summary to the top of your meeting notes, and then when you get, and then as other people add notes to it, you can click on summary, and it will adjust that summary as people have added more notes. You'll get a summary of the new information that was provided. So another great way to use Gemini. Let me back out of here. Now you can have it if you need help with a document or writing. You can click on this help write, and it'll pop up a little window, and basically it will give you some prompts that you can add in there, or you could have you can have it give you can type in your own prompt. So give me a paragraph that talks about what locations supercells are most likely to occur in Argentina. So now it's going to run off and it's going to give you a section on, and it talks about the Pampas region of Argentina, and you can now insert this in your document. Normally I wouldn't put it above the headline, but you can see now I've got a short little summary here, and again I can highlight it and let's see, refine, and I can elaborate it so it'll make it longer. So now I've got a couple cells or a couple paragraphs here of that information, and I can insert that as well. So again, Gemini helps you write, helps kind of streamline that writing process for you to help you get your documents moving forward. So like I said, you can summarize. It can help you create a document from scratch. Once a document is created, you can modify paragraphs with that help me write. You can make them longer, shorter, rewrite them again. You can summarize a document. So if you get a document emailed to you, you can open it up and ask Gemini to summarize it. And again, you can do it in bullet points or however that you want. You say make it longer or shorter. You can use that AI and it will and then summary, and it'll give you a summary of the document, and that's running. You hit that the little refresh symbol that's next to it, and it'll refresh on the summary. So again, Gemini, a great addition to Docs to help you speed along your document creation process. So you all have a great day and enjoy Gemini, and let me know if however you're using Gemini. I would love to hear it. All right, have a great day.